For us, it's a daily thing.
It's every day, right?
This is Mammoth Daily
We're going to take you inside the locker room
with Mike Fulta.
We want this show to be about the fans, and we want this show to be driven by our Utah Mammoth community.
And Adrian Denny.
Fans can submit what they want to hear us talk about, what they want to hear Utah weigh in on. It's all going to be here.
Here's Mike and AD with you.
Utahns, countrymen, lend me your ears.
Right here on Mammoth Daily.
Good Wednesday, everybody. Adrian Denny with you here on Mammoth Daily. Thanks for joining us. Quick 2-game road trip in the books, and the Mammoth split it. Doesn't really feel like it, does it? Mike and I were talking after the game on Hockey Night in Utah. You win one, you lose one. You get the satisfaction, the joy of a win. You lose 2 in overtime, your heart's kind of broken twice, though. A little better on Tuesday night coming back from a 2-0 deficit. Mammoth do indeed take the split on the road. They've got standings points in 4 straight games, 1-0-3 with 5 of a possible 8 standings points in that stretch, 10-7-3 on the season as they have played 13 of their first 20 on the road, 5-1-1 at home, and a record of 5-6-2 on the road. So with 65% of the games on the road and the schedule so far about a quarter away through the season, pretty good shape as you look at it from an overhead view. We'll get to more on that coming up in our third period following Nate Schmidt in our Odd Man Rush. But let's get to last night's game. It was a contest where Utah gave up 2 goals in the first 6 minutes, and it stayed a 2-0 game through some penalty kills, 18 straight Vitek Vanacek saves until JJ Peterka took over in that third period. And for JJ, that's why you went out and got a player like this, so he can take over in the third period when you're down 2-0 and get you 1 and then get you 2. As those of you on YouTube look at the happy moms in San Jose, Utah had a goal disallowed. Dylan Gunther was called for goaltender interference. Did not like the call. Thought it should have been a good goal. I'll go more into that. Utah getting the tie, getting the point in overtime, all coming up. But let's get to Mike's morning after with special guest Nick Olczyk.
This game feels different than last.
Yeah, I would
even though
agree.
the end result is the same. What are your thoughts on just the game over?
Yeah, I think the game in Anaheim felt like a point lost. I think that's a game where Utah could have and should have won. No question. The Ducks score with 4 seconds left to go. You get a little bit outstretched. And then in overtime, it can very much go either way. You can pick it apart as much as you want. Someone falls, someone's late to come back. Could happen either way. But tonight, I would agree with what head coach Andre Tourigny said in his post-game press conference, in that not only did Utah start the game late, it took them a while to get going. But I thought with the amount of chances that they got, it was only a matter of time before they were able to bust and burst their way through the door. And there was only so much San Jose could do defensively. You have the huge third period from JJ Peterka. Good to see him finally getting back amongst the goals. You want to get out of this offensive drought, that's going to have to be a guy that's a driver for you moving forward. And then you get to overtime, too many men on the ice penalty. For those of our newer fans who may not know, a player entering the ice sheet cannot play the puck before the player coming off is fully off.
Yeah.
Clayton Keller was getting off. Peterka played it. Changes. That's why they're so important. It's a part of the game that is not talked about enough.
Smart play by Dickinson.
Very smart to get off quickly, so that way you give the guy that's going on the ice time to make a play and avoid it. Nonetheless, that was the call. And then Macklin Celebrini, Mikey. The NHL,
He's Crosby.
and the Sharks are in good hands for a long time to come. A hat trick tonight. He's a special player.
I know it's hard not to think about the macro in this, because this feels like a continuance of a string of negative results for Utah, right? You've lost 8 of 10 now. even though you've picked up points in 4 straight. But let's focus on the micro. Let's be in the moment and talk about tonight. Peterka gets the 2 goals when the Mammoth need him to. But what did you see from the other lines tonight? Because Utah had a couple of extended possessions in the offensive zone. They just couldn't generate some of the chances we saw earlier in the season.
I thought the best line tonight for Utah, before head coach Andre Tourney did a little bit of switching, was Yamamoto, Hayton, and Gunther. They were on it. They were winning puck battles. I thought from start to finish, I thought Kyler Yamamoto was the best player on the ice in a salt white jersey. I do. I thought he was on it from the start. He had great looks. He was setting up his teammates. He was winning battles against guys that were 6'7" in the corner and coming out with the puck. So that's how I will say if you had to have me talk about a line. But again, I'm going to go a little bit against what you said, Mikey, and look back from the 30,000 foot point of view.
Yeah.
When this team had won 7 games in a row, not only do you look at things a little bit differently, but you're of the mindset, we're never going to lose again, even though that's not the reality. But it's fun to get caught up in that. Now you go through stretches. I just think this is a great reality check for everybody to show and to say that throughout the course of an 82-game grind, there's going to be good stretches. There's going to be rough stretches. And for Utah, they're in one right now. But these are the times where you have to rely on your best players and your leaders to drag you out of it. And the last point, the good news is you're headed back home to the Delta Center, back in front of your home fans, a place where they've been successful this year and very comfortable. Hopefully they can find a way to get back to their game consistently, although it's going to be tough. You face the Vegas Golden Knights twice, the New York Rangers, and one of the best young offensive teams, the Montreal Canadiens.
It should be fun. Can't wait to get back to the Delta Center. We are being summoned to our ride. We're going to get back to Utah tomorrow, back to Delta Center on Thursday. We will see everybody there. Do not eat the microphones.
I'm not eating the microphone. I'm eating the thing of light. See?
Yeah, how about that line of Kyler Yamamoto, Barrett Hayton, and Dylan Gunther? Hayton led Utah with 3 shots through 1 period. Gunther finished with 4 points in the game, and Yamamoto drew a big penalty for Utah. Nick really liking that line. And you know what, folks? We're looking for goals right now, right? 3 goals wins you games. 2 goals gets you to overtime in 3 straight games and gets you a standings point. But I think there's some things right now as you look at the Mammoth. I think Dylan Gunther is about ready to break out again. He's got 3 goals in his last 7 games after he had 1 goal in 6 games, but he's got his 5 highest shot totals of the season in a 5-game stretch in the last 5 games. 4, 6, 3, 5, 4. I think we saw some great stuff from Dylan Gunther, 2 goals in 3 games, as he doesn't score on Tuesday night, but look for him to break out as the team returns home. How about Logan Cooley? He's got now 4 points in his last 5 games for the Mammoth. He's starting to pile up the points and creating some offense. And not to mention JJ Peterka for the Mammoth, tying the game and getting us past regulation. He's got 4 goals in 4 games and 5 points in his last 4 games. And here's something about JJ Peterka. I would never, ever, ever speak for Bear or portray that I was speaking for Bear. I'm not so sure that Bear liked JJ's first 2 periods on Tuesday night. So how great is that? It didn't necessarily care for the first 40 minutes from a player, but in the third, he can go out and get you a couple big goals and tie up the game. Second time in 4 games, JJ Peterka has been involved in Utah erasing a 2-goal deficit in the contest. Did it against Buffalo when Utah put him out there with Lawson Krause and Jack McBain. Speaking of Gunther, he got called for that goaltender interference call, and I didn't care for it. I thought he got cross-checked into the goalie by Ty Dellandrea. I thought it was pretty obvious. It negated a tie game, but it's a good challenge by Utah. if you lost the challenge, kill a penalty, got 4 minutes left to tie the game, and that's exactly what they did. But Utah has had some tough reviews not go their ways over the last 4 games, and I might have been the only one on the broadcast team and in the state of Utah that was fine with the disallowed goal in Ottawa. And I understood the Nate Schmidt, by rule, that goal should have counted for Buffalo. But that goaltender interference on Tuesday night, totally disagreed with. I thought Gunther was cross-checked into the goalie. I didn't think he was headed in that direction, that he was going to collide with the goalie if there wasn't any contact. But wasn't worried because I just felt that once J.J. Peterka got that goal for Utah, they were in a good spot and they were going to tie the game. You get one, you get two, is what I always say. And JJ did it for the Mammoth as he joins Nick Schmaltz with a hat trick, Logan Cooley with 2 goals and a hat trick this year, and Clayton Keller with a 2-goal game on our Hockey Night in Utah postgame trivia question as the 4 Utah skaters this year that have at least 2 goals in a game. But he's taken a game over twice in less than a week to get you results. Just another example of why you went out and got that player, even if your head coach wasn't particularly enthralled. And I wouldn't want to speak for Bear with JJ through the first 40 minutes. So for Utah, it's the defense is there. Nobody plays defense like the Mammoth. Could use another save or two. Yeah. And the goals they've given up 5-on-5 haven't been because of their defense in their defensive zone. It's been because of turnovers in the offensive end. 3 in the last 2 games, including both scored by Tampa Bay, turnovers in the offensive end. Stuff that is just so easy to correct. Bear was not thrilled with how Utah started the game on Tuesday.
Mixed emotion, obviously. Proud of the guys for their effort, their comeback. I think it was on the back-to-back. Needed to have the push, so proud of them for that. Not happy because I feel it's a game we didn't start on time, and we need to find a way to win games, and especially those games. So there's a mixed feeling there. There's a part of I'm proud of their effort, their resilience, and there's a part of we need to find a way.
Utah's allowed the first goal in 5 straight games. And remember at the beginning of the year, Karel Vejmelka had the best first period numbers in the NHL. Utah had not allowed a first period goal in 7 of 8 games before this stretch. So it's been a little tough. Some early goals, some early shots going in. San Jose scoring off the rush on 2 of their first 3 shots. But the offensive zone turnovers, those are so easy to clean up and so easy to correct, because it's easy to, when you watch a game casually, say, oh, the effort, the energy. And I can tell you it's not effort or energy with this team, because if it was, in any circumstance, they don't give up a 5-on-5 goal or 2 every game. They'd be giving up 4, 5, 6. The penalty kill would be 70-75%. There'd be details missing. When this team hasn't won games, it's primarily been because they haven't been scoring. That's been this, losing 3 straight games in overtime. They play great defense. The effort's there. Just need power play goal to drop. Another 5-on-5 goal. You saw how it rallied the team. You saw the juice, the spark that it added on Peterka's first goal, to the point you didn't even care. You were going shorthanded after a challenge that I don't know that they thought they'd win it, but it was a good challenge. Just any chance that gets overturned, because you felt the energy. Go kill that penalty. You're riding it right now, and then go tie the game as JJ Peterka did. Speaking of JJ, let's hear from him after the contest.
Just exposing them with speed. Was kind of like the key. I think just good plays before that, and just trying to get it in.
Use the speed. You know what? As I'm watching the game tonight, I'm thinking, gosh, Utah had 1 chance off the rush through the first 40 minutes. it's a copycat league in the NHL. And Utah was the story of the league through October. And everybody knows they're fast and they score and they have success off the rush. We haven't seen as much of that in November. And I'm going back to that Tampa Bay game. Did Tampa Bay come in with a game plan to suffocate Utah that the rest of the NHL has taken note of? Utah realizing that, of course, and now trying to get over the top to counter that. That is what I'm thinking has taken place. Teams adjust. There's pre-scouts. Players watch hours and hours of video and get scouting reports and notes on playing a team. And I think that, you got to give credit. I think Tampa Bay came in with a great game plan on the November 2nd game when Utah was 8-3, and the NHL's kind of copycatted it and controlled Utah off the rush a little bit, which has led to the team facing adversity for the first time this year. But give that some thought, because I feel pretty good about that, and I'm excited to ask Dom Moore what he thinks of it. Because I'm just watching the game on Tuesday and processing it. I think the NHL in this chess game has made some adjustments to contain Utah. All the credit to Utah, because they were having a lot of success and scored a lot of goals during that 7-game winning streak. But that's why you see teams go up and down. The other team is always going to be there to try and counter the stuff that you're doing to have success. It's the great part of hockey. As we saw another close game, we saw another 1-goal game, and Utah is now 3-3 in overtime on the season. It was a tough penalty. It was a heads-up play by the San Jose skater to get JJ Peterka to touch that puck when there were too many men on the ice. But you can look at some things in this game and Monday night in Anaheim and be like, oh, could have gone either way. Could have won Anaheim, could have lost this game. You get through that final 5 seconds in Anaheim, you win it. You come into this game and Yaroslav Askarov might stop the easiest puck of the year that he faces, shot in by Peterka that tied us up at 2. Good shot by Peterka. Askarov should have saved it. You look at plays that, decided by inches. Ole Mata almost made the play of the game for Utah, but it was negated on the goaltender interference. When he won the race on that icing in the 3rd period, they gave Utah an offensive zone draw that they scored on, that the goal was disallowed. How about that hustle by Ole Mata back in the lineup for the first time in 4 games? Almost made a play that led to a goal that counted. These games are so close. Stuff like that makes a big difference. Usually does, if the goal doesn't get waved off. And, you look at those 2 games, you could have won one, could have lost one, get a split. You have the exhilaration of a win, 2 of 4 points, just the same. Felt bad on Monday. You'll take it on Tuesday because you rallied from behind 2-0. Facing adversity when you're in a funk, to be able to push through in the 3rd period to get that game to overtime, it's a big deal. Let's hear from Bear on, close games in the NHL.
If you look across the league, I repeat myself, it's a 1-goal game every time. It's a 1-shot game. And for us, it's 3 games in a row in overtime. It is what it is. So you cannot, you need to have the urgency all the time, and you need to have the resilience, which we have, and we showed it again tonight. We found a way, but we need to close the deal.
So head coach Andre Cherney right there, he has come out and said it. Needed a better start, need to win games, but you were in the position to do it. So that's easier than losing a game 5-2, 6-2. And as you watch the NHL right now, because Utah's so good defensively and they're so consistent every night coming out ready to play, You don't see this team lose 5-2, 6-2, games like that. You've seen Tampa Bay lose games like that, Florida Panthers, Toronto Maple Leafs. You got to give credit to Utah for being in every game. Can you say execution, mistakes? Yeah, I don't think you could ever say effort with this team. And you look across the NHL, everybody has those games that they lose 5-2, 6-2. Utah, over the last couple of years, has maybe had 3. That's the median in the NHL is probably 6 clunkers a year. I think Utah had 3 last year. I think this year, maybe you look back at Montreal game, it was a bad third period, but this team shows up and brings the effort. They're ready to go every night. Execution, is it always perfect? No. Nobody's is, but I don't think you can ever look at, were they ready to go? Did they want to be there? Did they want to play a game on a Monday night in Anaheim, a Tuesday night in San Jose? And that makes you feel really good that this team's ready to go. And you look at how they started the season, not allowing those first period goals, that sets the tone. The first period's been a little rocky as of late. And I'm not going to say we won another save or two, but team's ready to go. They're competing every night. One other note to get to, did not see Dmitry Simashev in the lineup on Tuesday night. First game of the year, he doesn't play. Andre Tourigny had an explanation for that and wanted to make sure that everybody heard it. It's nothing negative about Dmitry Simashev, but here's Bear on that.
Simashev is out. In the case of Simashev, he's playing good. We talked to him. It's not it's really a load management situation. The number of games we will have, we want to give him the best chance to play his A game, to be on top of his game all the time. Having a plan and thing we want him to look at, and it's not like I told him, it's not because we don't think his game is on par. Is to make sure we're still progressing, we're moving forward, and we're keeping the pace.
Head coach Andre Tourigny, after or before the game on Tuesday, I should say, as Oli Mata went in for Dmitry Simashev. Here on Mammoth Daily, about to get to our odd man rush, or is it a one-on-one with Nate Schmidt, and then come back because we've got a 20-game comparison for the Mammoth this year to Utah last year to the NHL last year. That's coming up in the third period. Nate Schmidt now here on the Odd Man Rush.
It's time for your Wednesday Odd Man Rush.
Welcome in. It's our Odd Man Rush. I've got Nate Schmidt with me. Mike Folta isn't here on the Odd Man Rush, so it's a one-on-one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Have you ever had somebody skate off for a change on an Odd Man Rush and it's just you?
I don't know. Mike might be the first one. Sorry, we miss you. That's all.
What would you say is the key to the defensive hockey that the team's playing right now, leading the NHL and fewest shots allowed? And it's been something. We're almost a quarter away through the season, and we've seen it. It seems like even more shots in the teens for the opposition as of late.
Yeah, I just think our team's commitment to it is really one of the biggest parts. And we're asking our forwards a lot to backtrack, a lot to support us as our D go down the wall, and apply pressure so that the other team can't come the whole length of the ice with speed. So creating a lot more dumps to our gaps, and I think our D just have done a really good job of kind of getting that surf mentality and trying to get everybody to move together as one. And I think that it limits and really kind of stifles the other team offense.
We're going back in a stretch right now of every other day, some back-to-backs after we started the year with 11 and 20 and a back-to-back. And do you feel like when you're playing all the time like that, you're just going, you're in a routine? Or, we've had, some back-to-backs, some days off in a row, but now we're getting back to how we started the year at and won 7 straight games with. Do you like that?
Yeah, I like it. When you're playing good hockey, you can kind of just get into a rhythm, get into a groove and start rocking. But I would say this more than anything is that, when you're in that groove, you can get into it. If you get out of it, you have another, just one more day to think about going back into it. And the other part is you're playing so much and your body just gets into a rhythm. And I really think that's what our team does really well with. And although as these back-to-backs and things start to stack up, I couldn't tell you what day it is. So people will ask me to call me back home. I'll be like, you kind of get lost in the schedule, but that's a part of it. That's the reason why, you can go on a run like this, is you get lost in a good momentum and have a lot of good things working for you.
Fun playing with John Marino.
Johnny.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, Johnny's been great. He's a little bit quieter than I am, so I think we even out quite a bit. But I love the fact that we have a really good dialogue, and I try and push him. He tries to push me at things that we like and how we can kind of get better with every day. And honestly, we usually flip a coin to see who takes the corners in the morning in practice. But it's a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it so far.
Question our mini mic crew is asking on your way off the ice today. Favorite meal? Tell me more.
Oh gosh, I said steak. Well, we're on the mom's trip, so I went with steak and mom's fettuccine Alfredo. It's just something that kind of sticks in my head, over the years. Something that she would make. Like, it's one of those things where you just smell it, right? It just kind of brings you back somewhere. I can remember, just where I, sitting at the kitchen table trying to get some stuff for my brother, because he used to sit in front of me in the line. But we always had to leave enough for my sister behind. Otherwise, then my dad would give us a little bit of grief. So now I can remember it. I can taste it. I know it's in the afternoon, but I could use it right now.
Anytime we talk about food on this,
I know, right?
Let's go. Tell me about mom. Coming on the trip, walked in and saw them all. It's always really fun, and team always seems to feed off of it and have a good trip.
You know what? This is my first mom's trip. Had a couple dad's trips. My mom's really excited. I'm excited to see her just kind of in an element with other moms, and just it's also a big thank you, right, to all this extra stuff that your mom does for you. And there's nothing like, I have kids now. I love them, but there's nothing like a mama bear, right? She really kind of takes care of it, holds it all down, and I'm just happy to cherish this moment with her.
Final question: how's family settling into Utah and being out west here? Or what do you think?
Yeah, no, my family has been great. Like I said, my two kids, we love it. We're outside, we're parks, we're up in the mountains, taking up gondola rides. We're doing it all. Okay, I'm actually kind of excited for the snow. After spending a year in the sunshine, a lot of beach time. Now, a little bit of ski and tubing time for the Schmidt family, for a lot of the bunny hills. Let's just say that for my son. I know he's pretty young, but he's really excited to go. So we're loving it so far.
You know what? When you come back from California, we'll see if we can get some snow up in the mountains for you when you get off the plane.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, appreciate it.
This is
Thanks for hanging with us here on Mammoth Daily. We're back for a game day edition coming up tomorrow. Vegas is in town, and Nick Olczyk will start a 3-part series with us for a Thursday expert with him. Excited to bring Nick on. We're going to talk about bench management. It's a chaotic place down there. I've kind of gotten into it, but we'll hear more from Nick on tomorrow's episode and our Thursday expert on the game day edition on bench management. But came across some numbers late Tuesday night that I thought were interesting. 20 games in the books. It's about 25%, 20 of 82. Mammoth 10-7-3. That's 23 points. Last year, 8-9-3, 19 points. So quarter of the way through, it's about a 16-point improvement from last year. That is a healthy standings improvement from last year, and that is most certainly, if you keep that pace, going to put you in a playoff spot. And for Utah to have played 13 to 20 games on the road, more favorable schedule coming up. You got to win those games at home when they start to add up, but Utah's in a really good spot right now. Last year, 14 teams had 23 points through 20 games in the NHL. 11 of those teams made the playoffs. So that's about 80%. So as you're looking at Utah right now, through 20 games, it's about an 80% chance to make the playoffs. It's been a good start. There's been ups and downs, and those 2 games to start that road trip, Minnesota and St. Louis, was not real life, was not reality, not typical. And you see those, and then you hold the team to that standard when maybe they caught some breaks. it may have given us a false sense of reality. But think in a good spot. Big 4-game homestand coming up. 2 games in 5 nights with Vegas. Rangers will be here Saturday for Hockey Fights Cancer, and the Montreal Canadiens will be at Delta Center coming up on your Wednesday before Thanksgiving for a 7:30 face-off. Folks, thanks for joining us here on Mammoth Daily. We appreciate it as always. Make sure you've subscribed on Apple, on Spotify, watching on the Utah Mammoth YouTube page. If you're watching on the Mammoth Daily YouTube page, just keep in mind, we will be switching over exclusively to the Utah Mammoth team YouTube page coming up shortly. So just don't want anybody to be left behind, but take note of that. You can watch this every day on SEG Plus as well, but make sure you never miss an episode. Share us, tell a friend. We certainly do appreciate it. We got a lot of great feedback. Wasn't a fun episode, but all being together on Tuesday after the tough one in Anaheim, I think was good for all of us, and we appreciate everybody who came over and tuned in on Tuesday, because it was a big day for the show. Utah wanted to hear about the game and get our reaction, and Utah showed up for that episode. Wasn't fun, but it was something we all went through together, and that's what Mammoth Daily has been. So thanks for joining us on your Wednesday. We're back with Nick Olczyk on your Thursday edition of Mammoth Daily. Have a great one, everybody.